So what do you make of the fact that Alabama needed a 97-yard drive to score a game-tying touchdown and eventually win in 1, 2, 3, 4 overtimes? But yet they win, and I come out feeling confident about the Crimson Tide.
I don't.
Am I broke? Okay, good. Cool.
That's we talked about it. That offensive line was getting beat up all day by Auburn, and now they're going to go play Georgia. And granted, like, Alabama's defense balled out today too. Like, the only reason Alabama won this game is because its defense kept them in it for the entire time. But like, no, that Alabama team, it's the least physically impressive Alabama team I've seen under Nick Saban in a very long time.
They lost a lot of important guys off last year's roster. They have not replaced them at the same rate. Like, we keep waiting for this team to show us something other than what it has shown us. And I think they have a really good quarterback in Bryce Young, who keeps getting better. They have a pretty young receiving core. You know, Mechie is solid. Mechie is not the, hey, now he's going to be your number one guy. Not all the dudes off last year's squad are gone. You know, they lost Jameson Williams to that targeting on punt coverage, which is, wild. But Tom nailed it. The inability to run the football on Auburn, which does not have a good defensive front. I think Auburn has a good secondary, despite their meltdown against Mississippi State. But the fact that Bama couldn't get movement at the line of scrimmage consistently against Auburn's defensive line is concerning, because I don't think that's one of the better defensive lines in the conference. And they were not able to push them around at all. When I see a guy like Damian George playing for Alabama, that's concerning to me, right? I don't know that he is somebody who would have started on really any of the prior Alabama offensive lines. This team just doesn't look like it has another gear to tap into. Also, this game should have never gone to 4 overtimes ever.
Nope.
Brian Harsin is the guy that, instead of doubling down, within 11 against a dealer 6 and either cashing out big or walking away a loser, it's like, I tell you what, let me just slowly bleed out over the course of the next 30 hands and then lose anyway. You're a 20-point dog at home. What the hell are you doing kicking the extra point? Go for 2. Try to win the game right there. Alabama's a far superior team to you. You had actually been playing poorly for about the last 30 minutes or so.
Yes.
Really. There's nothing in the record of today's game or of the prior 11 games that say you are going to make a nice comeback and start playing well in overtime. Go for it. See if you can hit it right then. I made the analogy of the casino, but why would you extend the game against a far superior team? That's dumb. I can see why. Like, I know some people at Auburn who are like, yeah, if Washington or Arizona State comes calling, and if he has the jab or gets the jab or whatever, we'll waive that buyout.
Yeah, like, I've seen a lot of Auburn fans mad at Tank Bigsby for going out of bounds. I've seen a lot of Auburn fans mad at the refs for some what they believe to be questionable calls. But no, I think the reason, like, they should be mad at Brian Harsin for that decision in overtime. Because, like you said, when you're playing a superior team, extending the game only increases your odds of losing. So to do that and not go for 2, then you might not have won the game, but I feel like that was your best chance to win, because that's pretty much a coin flip at that point.
I'm taking Alabama and Atlanta.
Like, on the spread or to win?
If Alabama had won this game by 10, and looked bad, but just kind of gone through the motions, I wouldn't be on this train. But there's something about them getting out of that. Was a game Alabama should have lost in so many different ways. You think they've
got Auburn Jesus now? They're the team of destiny.
I don't know, man. Like, Alabama getting out of that game and out of that stadium with a win is a little bit spooky. And the Jameson Williams targeting that you mentioned, Bud, when was that? Oh, that was in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
And did you see Nick Saban say that? If you were lip reading him talking to Jameson Williams immediately after the call on the sidelines, he said he was like, it's just a half. Like, Kirby ain't beat Nick yet.
I get what you're saying, but I feel like what you're doing right now is what we did with Oklahoma all year, where we just convinced ourselves that the elite team was going to show up and then waited for it and waited
No,
for
no,
it.
no, no.
And it didn't.
I'm predicting and this feels just absolutely, awful to say on what was formerly a Georgia pod and can sometimes be a Georgia pod. The scenario that I'd be predicting would be Georgia plays down, not Alabama plays up.
Mm.
Can Georgia play down and still win?
Yes.
I think
Yes.
so too.
Yeah. No, I mean, it would be a take in a position that would be a little bit contrarian, like in the spirit of our guy DK. But there was something spooky about the way that game ended, like because college football type stuff. Nick Saban was just a little bit too happy and confident after the game. It's just
so. I agree with you, Chip. I kind of wonder though, sometimes when you have a team you don't think is very good and they win, as a coach, you're just like, this is awesome. Go have fun, guys. Right? Like we worked 11 games of this. We're not getting any better. If anything, we're regressing a little bit. We won. Brian Harsin didn't go for 2. Amazing. Tate Bigsby stepped out of bounds. Seriously, guys. What a cool win. Like I
sometimes you got to win like that.
I think he appreciates them winning the West because he knows they're not that good.
Mm-hmm. The 2017 team limped into that national championship game against Georgia with very low confidence in what they were going to be able to do. Starting left tackle Jonah Williams goes down with an injury. Jalen Hurts can't get anything done, and we saw what happened after that. But I don't know. I don't mean to speak any more of that 2017 as if that's not going to be brought up enough throughout the week as we look ahead to the SEC championship game.
But my fear for that game still remains the fact that Alabama cannot run the ball, which means Georgia's only got to defend one thing.
Well, I mean, that doesn't have to be a fear. That can just be like a point of saying, like, what we think should play out. The whole idea of wouldn't it be hilarious is the idea that something that on paper should not happen will happen.